In 2024, a rusted door at Neverland, sealed since Michael Jackson's death in 2009, was forced open, unleashing secrets so staggering they could redefine the king of pop's legacy. Hidden for 15 years, this garage held more than relics. It concealed a time capsule that might unlock the truth about Michael, or resurrect the darkest questions of his life. Dare you uncover what he kept from the world? To understand the weight of this discovery, we must first journey back to the origins of Neverland Ranch, a place that was far more than a home. It was a fantastical kingdom born from the imagination of Michael Jackson, the man who redefined music and celebrity. Nestled in the rolling hills of Santa Barbara County, California, Neverland was a sprawling 2,700-acre estate that Michael purchased in March 1988 for approximately $19.5 million. Some insiders, factoring in the negotiations, custom security installations, and immediate landscaping upgrades, estimate the true cost closer to $30 million. Originally known as Sycamore Valley Ranch, the property was developed in the early 1980s by real estate tycoon William Bone, who constructed a 12,000-square-foot main residence in 1982. Designed in a French Normandy style, the mansion was surrounded by meticulously manicured formal gardens, a 4-acre lake crowned with a man-made waterfall, and grounds that evoked the serene elegance of an English countryside manor, complete with winding paths and blooming rose trellises. When Michael Jackson took ownership, he saw beyond the estate's grandeur. He envisioned a world where he could recapture the childhood he felt he'd lost to fame. Inspired by J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, he renamed the property Neverland, transforming it into a private wonderland that rivaled Disneyland itself. He invested millions to bring his vision to life, importing carnival rides from Europe that became the heart of the estate's magic. A gilded carousel, its horses gleaming under twinkling lights, spun to the delight of guests, while a Ferris wheel illuminated the night sky with bursts of color. A private zoo housed an extraordinary collection of exotic animals, elephants, giraffes, tigers, orangutans, and even a python named Madonna, a playful nod to his friend and fellow superstar, according to stories shared by former staff. The Neverland Valley Railroad was a crowning achievement. A steam locomotive named Catherine, in honor of his mother, Catherine Jackson, pulled vibrant passenger cars along 2 winding rail circuits, offering visitors a whimsical tour through fountains, storybook-inspired statues, and lush landscapes dotted with fairy tale cottages. Neverland was more than a residence. It was a sanctuary where Michael could retreat from the relentless pressure of global stardom. He built a 50-seat movie theater with plush velvet chairs shaped like thrones, a professional dance studio lined with floor-to-ceiling mirrors, and game rooms overflowing with state-of-the-art arcade machines, vintage pinball tables, and high-tech toys that dazzled visitors. Guest pavilions were added to host friends and families, creating a space that felt both intimate and fantastical. Michael's philanthropy shone here. He frequently invited children from disadvantaged backgrounds or those battling serious illnesses, offering them a day of joy in his magical world. High-profile guests like Elizabeth Taylor, Macaulay Culkin, and Corey Feldman were regular visitors, drawn to the estate's allure. It was at Neverland that Michael celebrated his 1994 marriage to Lisa Marie Presley, a union that captivated the world and added to the ranch's mythical status. In 1993, Oprah Winfrey conducted a historic interview at the estate, broadcast live to an audience of 90 million, where Michael bared his soul, describing Neverland as a place where I can be myself, free from judgment. Yet, beneath this enchanted surface, Neverland concealed a more complex reality. Michael's obsession with privacy led to the installation of sophisticated security measures. Hidden cameras nestled in the trees, round-the-clock armed guards patrolling the grounds, and persistent rumors of underground tunnels connecting key parts of the estate, though these were never officially confirmed. These precautions reflected his need to protect himself from an outside world that was often unforgiving. Paparazzi hounded him, obsessive fans scaled fences, and media scrutiny grew increasingly invasive. In a 1993 interview, he said, "Neverland is my sanctuary, a shield against the chaos that judges me." But that shield would soon be tested by a storm that would change everything. The year 2003 marked a turning point. Neverland, once a beacon of joy, became the epicenter of a media and legal maelstrom. On November 18, 2003, following allegations of child abuse by Gavin Arvizo, a 13-year-old cancer survivor, authorities descended on the ranch in a dramatic raid. Over 70 officers scoured the property for 14 hours, seizing computers, photographs, videotapes, and personal documents. The once magical estate was cast into shadow, its fairy tale image shattered by headlines that reverberated around the globe. Michael Jackson was arrested and charged with 7 counts of child molestation and 2 counts of supplying alcohol to a minor. The trial, spanning January to June 2005, was a media circus that captivated the world. Witnesses, including Macaulay Culkin, who staunchly defended Michael, and Wade Robson, who would later accuse him in a 2019 documentary, took the stand. Tabloids and news outlets fed on every detail, painting Neverland as a place of sinister secrets rather than childlike wonder. On June 13, 2005, Michael was acquitted of all charges, a verdict that divided public opinion. Supporters saw it as vindication of an innocent man targeted by opportunists. Critics argued the case exposed troubling patterns. Regardless, the damage was irreparable. In a poignant 2005 interview with Geraldo Rivera, Michael said, "It's not a home anymore. It's been violated. They tore it apart." He never returned to live at Neverland, leaving behind the place that had once been his refuge. The financial toll was equally devastating. Legal fees, estimated at over $20 million, combined with debts reaching $500 million, forced Michael to restructure his finances. To avoid foreclosure, he struck a deal in 2008 with Colony Capital LLC, an investment firm that assumed the estate's debt in exchange for co-ownership. The symbols of Neverland's magic were dismantled one by one. The carnival rides were sold off. The iconic carousel was purchased by a private collector for $1 million. The exotic animals, including the elephant Gypsy and the famous chimpanzee Bubbles, who had already been relocated, were sent to sanctuaries like the Center for Great Apes in Florida. The estate was quietly renamed Sycamore Valley Ranch, stripping away its mythical identity. Despite attempts to sell the property, with asking prices as high as $100 million in 2015, no buyer stepped forward. The ranch stood abandoned, its gardens overgrown, its fountains silenced, its train tracks rusting under the California sun. A haunting stillness settled over what had once been a vibrant dreamland. In December 2020, billionaire Ron Burkle, a former advisor to the Jackson family, purchased the estate for a mere $22 million, a fraction of its historical value. Burkle described the acquisition as a land opportunity, with no intention of transforming it into a museum or public attraction. Since then, limited restoration efforts have focused on practical repairs, reinforcing the mansion's roof, maintaining the gardens, and stabilizing key structures. In 2024, the production of the biopic Michael brought a temporary revival, with iconic features like the Neverland Valley Railroad Station and the carousel meticulously rebuilt to recapture the estate's former glory. These efforts reignited public fascination, drawing fans and media back to the ranch. Today, in 2025, Neverland exists in a liminal state, neither a private home nor a public monument, but a controversial emblem of American cultural history, forever tied to Michael Jackson's genius and the shadows that linger. It was against this backdrop of partial resurrection that the shocking discovery of 2024 unfolded. In early 2024, the Jackson family and their legal advisors ordered an exhaustive audit of the estate's assets to settle lingering questions about Michael's succession. During this process, a long-forgotten structure was flagged for inspection, a fortified garage tucked discreetly behind Neverland's main residence. This garage had remained sealed since Michael's death on June 25, 2009, its existence barely acknowledged. Astonishingly, even close family members, Catherine Jackson, Michael's children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket, and longtime estate staff had never set foot inside. Constructed with a heavy-duty alloy door, reportedly a blend of steel and titanium according to technical sources, and secured with an obsolete biometric locking system, the garage was designed to resist any conventional attempt at entry. The task of opening it was formidable. A team of specialized technicians, locksmiths, and security experts was assembled, armed with cutting-edge tools, including thermal scanners and hydraulic cutters. After hours of meticulous work, the door finally yielded, revealing a space that seemed untouched by time. For nearly 15 years, this garage had remained pristine, free of dust or decay, as if Michael had stepped out only moments before. This was no ordinary storage space. It was a personal vault, a time capsule crafted with meticulous care to preserve its contents. Inside, the team discovered a collection of rare and luxurious vehicles, each maintained in showroom condition, with inflated tires and gleaming chrome. A 1985 Rolls-Royce Corniche, one of just 891 ever produced, stood as a centerpiece, its turquoise exterior shimmering under the garage's fluorescent lights. Inside its tape deck was a cassette of "She's Out of My Life," a song Michael once said reduced him to tears during every recording session. The glove box held folded notes scrawled with his handwriting, fragments of poems, fleeting thoughts, and cryptic phrases like "Moonlight Dreams, Forever Free." A matte black Rolls-Royce Phantom 6, designed with no rear windows, was equipped with internal high-definition screens and soundproofing so advanced that it silenced all external noise. This vehicle seemed built for ultra-private mobile meetings, perhaps a refuge from the paparazzi's relentless pursuit. A 1954 Cadillac Fleetwood, its curves and chrome evoking the golden age of Hollywood, reflected Michael's admiration for icons like Marilyn Monroe, whose memorabilia he avidly collected. And a 1993 Ford Econoline van, plain and unremarkable on the outside, revealed a hidden gem within, a mobile creative studio with navy velvet walls, a mirrored ceiling, reclining leather armchairs, built-in screens, and a still-functional Super Nintendo console loaded with a Sonic the Hedgehog cartridge. The vehicles, however, were only the beginning. Sealed crates, each stamped with the golden seal of MJJ Productions, Michael's now-defunct entertainment company, held treasures that offered a glimpse into his creative mind and private world. Among them were handwritten lyrics for unreleased songs, including one titled "Lost in Time," accompanied by detailed notes on chords, melodies, and even vocal inflections. DT cassette demos contained fragments of Michael's voice, weaving through unheard rhythms and haunting harmonies that never reached the public. Stage plans for a canceled world tour sketched out ambitious visions, futuristic costumes with glowing accents, pyrotechnic displays that would have rivaled his legendary performances, and set designs that merged fantasy with technology. Confidential letters to collaborators like Quincy Jones revealed creative tensions, with Michael pushing for bolder, more cinematic projects, including a never-realized film about Neverland itself. A worn black leather notebook was a treasure trove of its own, filled with drafts of children's stories, sketches of fantastical characters, like a talking rabbit named Mr. Whiskers, who guided lost children to safety, and concepts for an animated series inspired by The Ranch, a project Michael had dreamed of since the early 1990s. The discovery extended beyond creative artifacts. Julian's Auctions, renowned for handling celebrity memorabilia, announced a catalog of over 2,000 items from the Jackson estate, set to be auctioned with a portion of proceeds benefiting musicaires and organizations supporting struggling musicians. The catalog included iconic pieces: the sequined glove from the 1983 Motown 25 Billie Jean performance, a cultural artifact that sparked the Moonwalk's global frenzy, costumes from the Bad tour, with their signature studded belts and shoulder pads, and the original ornate entrance gates of Neverland, adorned with Baroque flourishes. Yet, some of the garage's most intriguing finds were conspicuously absent from the auction list, igniting a firestorm of speculation among fans, journalists, and collectors. Were these items withheld to safeguard Michael's legacy? Or did they contain revelations that could rekindle long-simmering controversies? Sources close to the inventory, speaking anonymously, suggested the latter. Several crates contained sensitive materials, insurance contracts for canceled tours, including the ill-fated This Is It residency planned for 2009, detailed medical regimens from the 2000s, outlining prescriptions and treatments that raised questions about Michael's health in his final years, and security plans for Neverland, with handwritten notes identifying vulnerable entry points and strategies to deter intruders. More troubling were personal letters addressed to special friends, children who had spent time at Neverland during its heyday. These were accompanied by colorful drawings, signed photographs, and heartfelt notes from Michael, expressing affection and gratitude for their companionship. While not inherently incriminating, these items revealed an intensity of emotional connection that, in the context of past allegations, felt unsettling to some observers. Estate representatives were quick to clarify that certain items, unreleased audio recordings, early drafts of tour concepts, and internal MJJ Productions documents, would remain private for the foreseeable future. And estate advisor stated, "What we keep isn't about money. It's about telling the right story. Michael deserves his art to take center stage, not the rumors." The most disturbing discovery was a series of architectural plans found among the crates, offering a chilling glimpse into Neverland's hidden infrastructure. These blueprints detailed the main residence, with a focus on Michael's private wing. Behind his cedar-lined closet, a space was marked with cryptic labels: emergency enclosure, inner reinforced space, second barrier room. Technical notes described steel-reinforced walls, fireproof materials, a manual locking system accessible only from the inside, an independent ventilation system, a direct phone line, and an emergency button wired to the estate's security team. This was the fabled panic room, long whispered about by former employees and sensationalized in tabloid reports, now confirmed as real. Testimonies from the 2000s, notably by investigative journalist Diane Diamond, had described a hidden room accessed through a concealed panel in Michael's closet, equipped with internal locks, a sliding steel bar, and a control panel. Once sealed, it could not be opened from the outside, even with master keys or electronic overrides. For some, the room's existence was entirely logical. Michael's global fame brought relentless attention, obsessive fans, documented stalkers, and a 1992 break-in attempt at Neverland justified heightened security measures in the early 1990s. Panic rooms were becoming standard among celebrities and billionaires, and Michael, whose fortune was once estimated at $1 billion, had the resources to build one of military-grade sophistication. Yet, the plans revealed details that raised eyebrows. They outlined extreme soundproofing, hidden corridors, and noise-dampening panels connected to other parts of the house, including rooms and play areas designated for visiting children. These features echoed troubling accounts from the 2019 documentary Leaving Neverland, where Wade Robson and James Safechuck accused Michael of abuse in secluded spaces at the ranch. Safechuck specifically described a secret room above the arcade and a bell system to alert Michael to approaching visitors. The blueprints appeared to corroborate these details, noting independent motion sensors and walls thicker than structurally necessary, designed to absorb sound completely. These elements, while not direct evidence of wrongdoing, were deeply unsettling in the context of the allegations. Within the Jackson estate, the discovery sparked internal tensions. Some representatives insisted the room was purely a protective measure, a necessity for a star hounded by media and intruders. Others privately acknowledged that the optics were problematic, particularly when paired with the personal letters and photographs found in the garage. Forensic experts who examined the materials stopped short of labeling the room as evidence of misconduct, but its secrecy, strategic location, and construction timing shortly after the 1993 allegations cast a dark shadow over Neverland's legacy. For some, the panic room symbolized Michael's isolation and paranoia, a physical manifestation of a life under constant siege. For others, it fueled suspicions that Neverland was more than a playground. It was a meticulously designed sanctuary that could conceal as much as it enchanted. The discovery forced the world to confront questions many thought had been laid to rest. The architectural plans, sealed alongside Michael's personal effects, became a new piece in the intricate puzzle of his life, a man whose genius reshaped music and culture, but whose personal choices and relationships continue to divide fans and critics alike. The timing of the garage's opening added another layer of intrigue, as it coincided with a major cultural moment: the production of Michael, the first authorized biopic on Jackson's life. Directed by Antoine Fuqua, known for Training Day, and produced by Graham King, the mastermind behind Bohemian Rhapsody, The film promised a sweeping exploration of Michael's rise to stardom, his personal struggles, and his enduring legacy. The casting choice amplified its emotional resonance. Jaffer Jackson, Michael's 27-year-old nephew, was selected to portray him. Family members emphasized that Jaffer didn't merely resemble Michael physically. He had spent years studying his uncle's iconic dance moves, vocal nuances, and stage presence. A crew member, speaking during early rehearsals, said, "He doesn't imitate Michael. He embodies him." To authentically recreate Michael's world, the film's production team returned to Neverland. Though the estate had been neglected since Michael's departure in 2005, the crew undertook an ambitious restoration, rebuilding iconic features like the Neverland Valley Railroad with its brightly painted passenger cars, the carousel with its twinkling lights, and the circus tent that once hosted laughter-filled gatherings. Some elements were reconstructed using original MJJ Productions blueprints, preserved in the Jackson family archives, while others were meticulously restored based on archival footage and guidance from relatives, including Janet Jackson, who provided insights into the ranch's aesthetic and emotional significance. This revival drew intense media and fan attention, transforming Neverland into a living set piece that rekindled its magical allure. The timing of the garage discovery, just weeks before the biopic's production ramped up, sparked widespread speculation. Was the opening of the sealed garage a calculated move to generate buzz for the film? Or was it part of a broader effort to reshape Michael Jackson's narrative, steering the focus toward his artistic brilliance and away from the controversies that have long defined his public image? No official statement directly linked the garage to the biopic, but sources close to the production hinted at a synergy between the two events. Items from the garage, such as the turquoise Rolls-Royce and the leather notebook filled with sketches, were photographed to inspire the film's set designs, lending an authentic emotional weight to the project. The notebook's drawings, in particular, influenced the film's portrayal of Michael's creative process, capturing his childlike wonder and relentless ambition. The biopic, slated for release in 2025, aims to present a nuanced portrait of Michael Jackson, a visionary artist who revolutionized music with albums like Thriller and Bad, but also a man whose life was marked by intense scrutiny, personal struggles, and a quest for privacy that bordered on obsession. The film's production at Neverland, coupled with the garage discovery, marked a pivotal moment in how his story is told. For fans, it was a chance to celebrate his unmatched contributions to music and culture. For skeptics, it raised questions about whether the estate and filmmakers were selectively curating his legacy to emphasize his genius while downplaying the allegations that have haunted him for decades. The 2024 audit, initially a routine exercise, evolved into a profound exploration of a world locked away for over a decade. Beyond that rusted door lay not just luxury vehicles or forgotten keepsakes, but a time capsule that captured the essence of Michael Jackson, a man who lived in the glare of the spotlight yet shrouded parts of himself in secrecy. The garage's contents, cassettes of unreleased songs, heartfelt letters, architectural plans for a hidden room, paint a portrait both captivating and deeply complex. They remind us why Michael remains an enigma, a genius whose music transcended borders, uniting millions, yet whose personal life continues to spark debate and division. The discoveries raise profound questions about legacy and truth. The vehicles, like the Rolls-Royce Corniche with its poignant cassette, reflect Michael's emotional depth and his ability to find solace in art. The handwritten lyrics and sketches reveal a creative mind that never stopped dreaming, even in the face of adversity. But the letters, photos, and architectural plans confront us with uncomfortable realities, forcing us to grapple with the duality of his life. Was Neverland simply a haven for a man seeking to reclaim his childhood, or did it serve a more complex purpose? Were the security measures, like the panic room, a response to legitimate threats, or do they hint at something more troubling? These questions, unanswered and perhaps unanswerable, lie at the heart of Michael Jackson's story. The garage's contents also shed light on Michael's broader cultural impact. His music, from Billie Jean to Beat It, redefined pop culture, blending genres and breaking racial barriers on MTV. His philanthropy, evident in the children he invited to Neverland, reflected a genuine desire to bring joy to those in need. Yet, the allegations, first in 1993 with Jordan Chandler, then in 2003 with Gavin Arvizo, and later in Leaving Neverland, have left an indelible mark, creating a divide between those who see him as a misunderstood artist and those who believe the accusations point to a darker truth. The garage findings, particularly the plans and letters, do not resolve this divide but amplify it, offering new fuel for both defenders and critics. The convergence of the garage discovery and the biopic production underscores a broader cultural moment. In 2025, as the world anticipates Michael, there is a renewed effort to grapple with Jackson's legacy. The film, backed by the Jackson estate, seeks to humanize him, portraying both his triumphs and his vulnerabilities. The temporary restoration of Neverland for the production serves as a metaphor for this effort, a bid to revive the magic of Michael's world while confronting its complexities. The garage, with its treasures and troubling artifacts, adds a layer of authenticity to this narrative, grounding the film in the tangible relics of Michael's life. What began as a mundane audit has become a journey into the heart of one of the most enigmatic figures of our time. The garage, sealed for 15 years, was not just a storage space. It was a vault of Michael's dreams, fears, and secrets. The turquoise Rolls-Royce, with its cassette frozen in time, speaks to his emotional connection to music. The unreleased songs and sketches reveal an artist whose creativity knew no bounds, even in his darkest moments. The letters and photos, heartfelt yet controversial, reflect his complex relationships with those around him. And the architectural plans, with their cryptic annotations, force us to confront the ambiguities of Neverland itself. Now that the door has been opened, the question remains, what should be done with its contents? Should every artifact be revealed, offering a fuller picture of Michael Jackson, flaws and all? Or should some secrets remain locked away, preserving the legacy of a man whose music continues to inspire generations? The answers are not simple. Michael Jackson was a paradox, a global icon who craved privacy, a childlike dreamer whose life was marred by adult controversies, a philanthropist whose generosity was overshadowed by accusations. The garage discovery does not resolve these contradictions but deepens them, inviting us to reflect on the man, the myth, and the mysteries he left behind. As we stand at this crossroads, the world is watching. The biopic Michael will offer one perspective, crafted with the input of those closest to him. The garage findings provide another, raw and unfiltered, challenging us to reconcile the beauty of his art with the shadows of his life. For fans, these discoveries are a bittersweet reminder of his brilliance, a trove of unreleased creativity that reaffirms his genius. For skeptics, they are a troubling echo of unresolved questions, a reminder that truth is often elusive. For all of us, they are a call to engage with Michael's story, not as a simple narrative of hero or villain, but as a complex tapestry of talent, tragedy, and mystery. What do you believe should happen next? Should the estate release every detail, from the songs to the plans, to let the world judge for itself? Or should they protect certain truths to honor the memory of a man who gave so much through his music? The legacy of Michael Jackson, his moonwalk, his melodies, his controversies, continues to captivate and divide. Share your thoughts in the comments, like if this story left you stunned, and subscribe to stay tuned for the next revelations about Michael Jackson and the enduring enigma of Neverland.